Come all rounders if you want to hear story about a brave engineer, Casey Jones.
Hey there, my name is David Mays, your host for this edition of Along the Model Railroad Line, program where we talk about the fun you have playing with trains. I definitely have fun playing with trains. I hope you're having some fun too. Quick shout out to all you folks been watching my videos. Definitely appreciate that. Been getting a lot of positive feedback. Been getting people, subscribing, which is definitely, nice pat on the back, and of course does help the algorithm, make it easier for people to find these videos. So, if you haven't already, I'd like to invite you, like, subscribe, leave comments down below. You know the routine. And again, that'll help out with, spreading the word about these videos. And talking about having fun playing with trains, one of the things I've been doing, been working on this little HO scale structure, got some sort of a business thing I want to talk about with this program. I'm going to be talking about how I did some of the roofing. This part of roofing is done to simulate, tar and gravel type roofing. Well, I'm going to talk about specifically is how I did the roofing here on this awning. How I made that using just some common household items. And so, with that, invite you to climb aboard, and we'll take our trip along the model railroad line. And again, tell you how you can add detailing to the roofs on your structures. Okay, let me show you here how I did this roofing here on this little HO scale building. The building itself is from a kit made by a company called Model Hobbies. It's probably back in the early 60s, maybe mid 60s, late, early 70s. Kind of an old school kit. It says here in the label, HO scale, general store, all wood kit, $1.75. So obviously the inflation has been an issue since then. And of course, got a little picture here of what the structure will look like when it's finished. When I bought the kit at a train show, I think I only paid like $1 for it. So if anything, I got a better deal. Somebody had already started working on it. Some of the window frames had already been put in, but everything else I did put it together. Still got some work to do. I'm going to put some sort of detailing here on the roof, and also put a sign here on the front. Like I envision it being a hardware store that specializes, say, in paints, wallpapers, room decor, things like that. And if you look here, you got some words printed on the windows. One says paints, the other says hardware. And I'll maybe let that be the subject of another video about how I did that. And this part of the roof, the kit came with a sheet of sandpaper, which I went over some black washes, some acrylic paint, kind of this paint here. And just kind of washed it on there 3 or 4 times so I got the effect I like. So get the effect of some weathered gravel and tar paper roofing. But what I'm going to talk about now is how do we do this roof here over the porch, the front, the veranda. When I was thinking about how I want to do this, the idea of using rolled roofing paper came to mind. I mean, the kit itself came with the sandpaper here, used this part, but it didn't come with anything to cover this part, this, awning. So I just, like I said, think about the idea of, rolled paper, rolled roofing paper. Okay, that makes sense. You basically, rolled roofing paper or rolled asphalt roofing is kind of similar to asphalt shingles in that it's basically, this case tar paper with some sort of gravel or something embedded in it. It just, instead of coming in the big chunks that most asphalt shingles come in, it comes in a roll. And doing a little research on the internet, it's a cheaper way of covering a roof. It's just that the material may not last as long. It's thinner, things like that. But I just, thought about, hey, I think it'll still be a neat feature here. The people own the building. They're, they obviously, they're selling paint, so they got paints that you take care of the building. But at the same time, just, something basic for this awning. And like I said, just get some rolled paper on there, roofing paper, and just put it on there. Now, how I made this is I used some masking tape to create this rolled paper. The paper, roll, masking tape could be like this right here. Just some basic masking tape. You could actually probably get away, using this blue painter's tape. I did a little test with that, see how well it worked compared to this, and it works just fine. And also, you go to the pharmacy, drugstore, whatever, you probably get some of this tape like this, kind of used for holding bandages in place. It's basically the same thing as this. The point being is all 3 of these are some form of paper-backed tape. And so for what we're doing here, I think it makes a good choice because you got this texturing on there, and then all you have to do is paint it and weather it, and there you go. Now, a question we might ask right now, of course, is which one of these would be good to use, since they're coming different widths. I mean, this blue painter's tape, heck, that'd be almost too big for G scale if you want to make strips of material represent tar paper, like I said, roofing or whatever. So for what we're doing here, one of these will work better. And the good news, this stuff you can trim this stuff. I'll show you later on the process how to do that. But to get started, this particular roll, I mean, I've had this laying around the house for years. In HO, it measures out just a little over 5 feet wide. You know, maybe a little wide, but I think most rolls of the tar paper or the roll roofing tends to be in the 3 to 4 foot range. But at the same time, if you measure this in O scale, comes out just under 3 feet wide. So that might be a good choice for your O scalers. And of course, this one here, which is actually what I used on this awning. In HO, it measures out to about around 4 feet wide, which again is the appropriate size. And again, like I say, if stuff's too wide, there is a way to trim it. But again, I'll show you that later. So to get started here, how I would be doing this, let's take this piece of cardboard and pretend it is a piece of a roof for a building like this. A lot of the all wood kits, especially some of the older ones, but I think even newer ones still, for something like the roofing, they'll just give you a big chunk of mat board or cardboard to use that. And most of the time it works just fine. Now what I'm going to do here, I do this with a lot of wood structures. I mean, these things, this wood is prone to warping when you get it wet. And of course, even after the kit's built, I have seen some buildings that may sit on a layout for a while, and the humidity, came and went, and the building came out all warped. So what I like to do, here's shake it up a little more. Just pop that open. I'm using this kind of grimy black color just because I got it. It's a whole lot here. I mean, the awning here on the hardware store, I actually painted it white on both sides because I wanted the white to kind of go with the trim. But for what I'm doing here, the black will work just fine. So here, just take a little paint out of the lid, and here, just kind of smear it on there. This does a couple of things. Obviously, kind of painting it. If you get a spot that peeks through between the shingles or the rolls or whatever, instead of getting this, you'll get this, black showing through, so it won't be so obvious. Also, of course, painting it, seals the material. Just like I said, it may be prone to expanding and contracting over time, depending on the humidity levels. Let's see. Let's do that. There we go. Doesn't have to be perfect, but get a good cover on there, and go and get the edges like that. And here. There we go. And I'm gonna go ahead and paint the other side too. Go on, like I said, use the paint to help seal the material so it'll be less affected by changes in humidity levels. And do like that. There we go. And a little more. Here we go. Alrighty. Alright, that's good enough. I'll just treat that as the bottom. This will be the top. I'll just set that aside for right now, let that dry. Got some water over here, so I'm going to rinse out the brush. The paint I'm using here is from the company Plaid. It's their Apple Barrel brand. They call it Pavement. So it's kind of this dark gray color. Almost similar to the old Polyscale and Flowco grimy black. Now, the other thing I do here, set this aside while the roofing subroof is drying. Get a piece of glass. I mean, this is perhaps one of the more important parts of this process. Get yourself a piece of glass. This is a rather thick piece I got from somewhere years ago. You can also get, say, go somewhere that's got some cheap picture frames, and just buy one of those frames and just take the glass out of that. And I'm gonna go and use this tape. There we go. Let's find the edge. There we go. Just peel that off. There we go. See that? There you go. And just peel off a piece that's long enough for what we're going to do here. I have enough to use at least 2 strips. So let's do that. Let's just do like that. And just put that here on the glass. The idea of using the glass is something that the tape will stick to, but you can still peel the tape off later. It'll still save some of the stickiness. I mean, you probably could use something like a sheet of plastic, acetate, or acrylic or whatever. And it might work fine. The idea, again, being you want to be able to take the tape off later and still have some of the sticky stuff in the back still be sticky. Let's do that. That should be enough for what we're doing. Let's take that brush again. I've been letting soak. Let's see. Let me grab a paper towel over here. There. Okay. Let's go and dry that off. Now what I'm going to do here is take again some of this paint. It's going to shake it up, make sure it can flow. Shake it good. All right. Okay, that should work. We're going to take some of this, again, this dark gray paint, and just paint it over these strips of tape. And I like the idea of using this gray as opposed to black. Now this, I'm assuming this, the roofing paper is a little been up on the roof for a while, so it's kind of faded a little bit. Also, of course, you get something, black, especially in the dim light we tend to have in our train rooms. Have this kind of black holes there on the layout, kind of absorbing all the light. So I just like the way it looks. There you go. Now just let that dry for a few minutes. If you're really in a hurry, you probably get something like a hair dryer and blow it on there. I mean, if you're really daring, you probably take this piece of glass, go stick it in a microwave oven. Definitely dry it out fast. And I have done that a couple times. The only real issue was the glass did heat up from the from the moisture. Okay, so just gotta wait a minute, let this dry, and do the next thing. Okay, while this again is drying, we'll just set that aside for right now. The next thing is going to be mixing up some stain, that will be used to help get this weathered effect right here. Again, what you need, a little jar of water, and since this asphalt covering is kind of a white color, I figured the owners of this building chose that so it could match the trim. Shingles and other stuff like this come in different colors. So I decided, okay, to use a white color, but I did, instead of using white to create the stain, again, use this, some plaid folk art. They're calling it steel gray. Basically, it's a light gray. And the idea is when you apply it on over this black, it'll actually come out kind of looking white. Maybe not a stark white, but it'll still have that effect. So, again, I'm going to make some stain. Again, just take a little, just shake that up a little bit. Make sure it's mixed up. There we go. It should do. In this case here, I got this, water right here, and I'm going to put a little paint in. Don't need a lot. I mean, there's a danger of putting too much in there. So let's do that. Okay, here, a little more. Now here. There we go. Here. Put that aside. Then take a brush and just swirl it around in there. Get thinned out. Like I said, what you want here is a wash. And as the washes go, in a way, the thinner it is, the better. You don't really want a strong concentration of the paint there. There you go. Here. Okay, let's go ahead, grab this, bring it over, say a chance to dry. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to take some of this mixture here, the gray mixture. Make sure that's wiped off. And then just dip the brush in there, and just swirl around, and then go over here and start dabbling it on the tar paper, the roll paper roofing, whatever you want to call it. And just put it on there, kind of a nice coat. Doesn't have to be too thick. Same thing on that one. The idea is, of course, we're applying a stain or a wash to what we got here, and then just gotta let it dry. And then at that point, we can decide if we need to add any more or not. So again, we're just take this wash, putting on there, and a little more. Like I said, give it a chance to dry, see how it looks, see how much weathering it's applied. So, okay, we're giving this some time to dry, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and add another layer of the wash. Again, you can build this up. I mean, the way it looks now, you see a little bit of subtle weathering. Otherwise, it's kind of more like tar paper than rolled shingles or rolled roofing paper. So we just add a little more like that. Like I say, you add just as many as you need to. Just give them a chance to dry between applications. There you go. Like that. Alrighty, just get that chance to set, cool off, dry, whatever, and we'll be ready for the next step. There you go. Here, a little more. There you go. Alrighty. Okay. Okay, while that's drying, we'll put the tape we already worked on. Let's go ahead and take advantage of these here that I've already made to show you what the next thing we're going to do. As I was saying earlier, I got the example here. Get that, where's cameras? There you go. And I got 5 pieces of tape here that have all been painted black, and I've applied the wash to each one of them, but I've done it multiple times on some of them. So it's like I said, this one's got one layer to wash, this one's 2, that's 3, then 4, then 5. And of course, every time I come back and apply another layer, of course, you get the stronger weathered effect. So they're moving towards what otherwise would look like, say, some rolled roofing paper. Be able to show the the graduals, or the gravel to use on them. And I mean, right now this down here got just a hint of weathering, so it'd probably be more like tar paper. It's been been out in the weather a while. We're up here, you're getting closer to, like I said, the rolled roofing material, but which has definitely been out in the weather for a while. So it's starting to wear out. Whereas if you keep adding layers, you get to a point where it's like almost solid gray or white. So yeah, personally, I like the idea. You don't want to do it, put so much wash on there that it becomes, like I said, a solid color. Leave a little bit of the black or the gray showing through, so again get that textured effect. Anyway, let's go and take advantage of stuff's already here. Show you what we're going to do next. Again, we're going to take our simulated roofing piece, and we're just going to use one of these and apply it there. Now, like I said, these things are probably a little wide for HO. They might work fine for O scale. Of course, N scale, you definitely have to trim them. But this stuff, especially while it's on the glass like this, is actually pretty easy to trim. So let's go ahead and use these 2 pieces up here. Just got my scale ruler, just kind of laid it on there like that. Oh, here, let's put that aside. I got a better tool here. Yeah, there we go. Little square, that'll work better. Just do like that. Just hold it down. Take your trusty hobby knife and just slice through there. I got this ragged piece on the end. You just slice that off. There we go, like that. And then take a little chisel blade. Just kind of get down there, lift that edge up. Pull that up. There you go. Got a nice straight line right there. Squared it off. And that, please just throw it away. And do the same thing on the other end. That's it. Kind of get up here, just before where the tear starts. And then kind of just slice through. Again, nice thing about using the glass will resist, being cut into as long as you don't push down on it too hard. And take that piece off the end, just peel it off, get rid of it. There we go. A little piece left there. Okay, got some of the paint on the glass. And just for grins, let's say we don't want a piece that's 5 feet wide in HO. Let's get the scale ruler out. Get the square here, measure it. Just about 3 foot, like that. There, let's see. Yeah, let's get down here at the end. There we go. Get more or less square. Now, let's do that. There you go. Take your knife. Just kind of, don't even need a lot of pressure. Just pull it through there. It'll slice right through. Set all those aside. Again, take the chisel blade. Lift that up. Okay, hold up. Didn't quite cut through. Let's do that again. Okay. There we go. There we go. I think we got it. There you go. A little strip that's about, what's that, about 2.5 feet wide. Now, before we put that on the roofing, what I'm going to do here, a little trick I like to do. I mean, the tape that's on the adhesive that's on the tape will stick, But over a period of time, I have seen buildings, some I've done in the past, and seen others where they just put the tape on there using the adhesive that's already on there, and over a period of time, it did manage to come loose. So what I'm going to do here, I got a little bit of water right here. I'm going to take some glue, in this case some wood glue, and just dip that in there, just get a bunch on the brush, and just water this down. Make some watered down glue. I'm using wood glue here, but white glue will should work just as well. There you go. Probably make it a little thicker. Let's see. There you go. I mean, it's kind of similar, I don't know, 1-to-1, or 2 parts water, 1 part glue. Doesn't have to be real thick. There you go. And just a little more. There you go. Seal that up. Make sure that's. There you go. You got a glue water mixture here. And what I'm going to do here, again, take the roofing material and just paint some of that glue on here, like that. Kind of get it on there, give it a chance to soak in. And the whole idea is to provide some additional adhesive for the the strips we're putting on here. Like I said, the adhesive that is already on the tape will hold, but by applying this glue water mixture, it'll provide some extra stickiness. There you go. Just set that aside, and do like that. Take that little strip you cut off. There you go. And just stick it down there. In this case, you do want enough moisture, enough of the glue wire mixture here, so that it'll soak into the tape. Okay, let's see. Move that down a little bit. It's just a little bit short for this, what we're doing here. Yeah. You can see the tape's curling up a little bit, but as the glue wire mixture has a chance to soak in, they'll settle down. There you go. Like that. And then get this other piece loose. And again, get some, do like that. Get a little more the glue water mixture on there. And then put the other piece down next to the first piece, but have it overlap just a little bit. I'm assuming this is the bottom edge of the roof, and so we're starting the pieces at the bottom and then work our way up. And the idea is to have the pieces overlapping just a little bit. Like that. Do that. And just kind of smooth that out. Again, let the water and the glue soak in. There you go. Do like that. And just for the heck of it, let's get this piece trimmed out. Take our trusty knife. Move that aside. Get rid of some of this excess tape. And there you go. And again, just apply that, the glue water mixture on there. Can't get a chance to soak in a little bit. And then there you go. Just lay that out. Again, kind of overlapping just a little bit with the first piece in front of it. Do like that. And give the water glue mixture a chance to soak in. If it's having trouble soaking in, just put a little dab on top of it. There you go. Like that. Kind of like the way you used to do paper billboards. Just slap it on there. Okay. Let's give that a chance to set down. Alrighty. There you go. It'll look like that. It'll look better once it dries. We get the idea. Got the layered effect of different strips next to each other, like they're overlapping just a little bit. So let's go ahead and stop. We'll give this a few minutes to dry. Then we'll come back and show you how it looks. Alrighty. I'll show you here what we got. Now the roofing material has dried. Hold it up a little closer. Hope you can see the texture there that's from the tape, which the black and then the white or gray wash emphasizes. You can see where the pieces overlap. Like I said, get a nice effect there of, like I said, some sort of roofing material. Could be tar paper just weathered or like I said, got some sort of roofing material that has some of that gravel mixed in with it. I mean, compared to the model here, the model is a lot lighter, but that's because I applied more of the wash to it. And to me, it's supposed to be maybe newer or better maintained or whatever. But again, you see the difference here. That get the same effect here, but just add some more of the washes. Let it dry between each time we put it on. And personally, I like the effect that we got here. Again, get that texture effect. That's kind of what I like seeing here, is that texture. And in looking at this myself, I keep thinking there should be some other uses for this. I keep thinking, the surface of the texture I keep thinking maybe a road surface, something like that. So something to experiment with. So anyway, hope you give this technique a try. Next time you're working on a building, or even any place where you might need some sort of tar paper or some simulated, like I say, roofing material. So, like I said, give it a try. I hope you enjoyed that little trip along Marl Railroad line. Had a chance to show you how I did the roofing details here on this awning on this HO scale structure. It's a easy technique. Again, just make use of stuff you may already have laying around the house. I also use that technique of using masking tape, paint some like I said, dark gray, kind of grimy black paint on these two structures here. Kind of got this mall of a dilapidated old farmhouse and a dilapidated old barn. And again, same idea, just put the tape on some glass, painted it, and then just stuck it on there. In this case, I didn't did sort of the minimal weathering, since it's supposed to have to be tar paper as opposed to rolled roofing. But I like the effect. And honestly, this thing's been sitting on the lab for a while, so they got just a little bit of dust on, which actually adds to the effect. So we got some natural weathering. Anyway, yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, learned some things, and I invite you all to stay tuned. We'll be back soon. We'll take another trip along the Marl River line. In the meantime, you go out and have some fun in your own trains, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay. Bye.
Was a rounder's name. On a 6-8 wheel of Boise won his fame. Called Casey about 4:30. Kissed his wife at the station in the door. Mounted in the cabin with his orders in his hand.